Hello, hello, and welcome in, everybody. Yeah, it looks like I've spoiled the star of the show here, right? It's only the third episode, and Cole already knows he's the show of the star, or the star of the show, and he's holding out on everybody. If I don't give him the pepperonis, come on. Go over there and hang out for us for a little bit, Cole. Thanks for coming in, everybody, on this wonderful Thursday. We're going to hang out here for a second, let things get rolling. If you don't mind, somebody out there in the chat, give me a quick check. Yes, is the audio good? I know, you see him right here. Look at him. Let's see. There he is right here. That's right. What a spoiled, rotten little thing. All right, well, I'm just going to hang out. We're going to wait for a confirmation from the chat to make sure things are good. I see some early chat before I came in. I just wanted to make sure. I see some shout outs for Brazil. Not quite sure what we're talking about there. The movie or the country? Anyway. Let's see. Oh, he's back. Sure what we're talking about there. The movie or the country? All right. Looks like I got confirmation. It's just looks like we're waiting for the majority of the audience to show up here today. How's everybody doing? Huh? You know, it's Thursday. It's time for another episode of your scheduled program. Your scheduled program, The Bunker. Welcome back into The Bunker, everybody. I guess the algorithm's not pushing the notifications out far enough, so if you'll do me a favor, please hit the like button. Please hit the like button. I'm going to take a second to explain all that, because I've done some research on my analytics, and it appears that every time somebody like you clicks the like button, it turns into about 10 views. So if you do that, oh, hey, Koala and Demo Kirby, thank you guys for showing up. Awesome. That's right. Okay, so if you just do that for me, hit the like button. We're gonna get started here. I'm waiting for Cole to go back. I mean, I set all this stuff up. I had the nice Cole cam overclockwise. Thank you. I had the new Cole cam set up here. I did all that extra graphics and everything for you, but like I said, he's become a diva and is deciding that he just wants to be paid for all the work he does, and that's what he's doing. He's trying to he's trying to sniff out some of those treats in there that he thinks he's going to find. All right, so you know, the first day we talked about some news. I don't have a lot of news right now. I do have one announcement. Let me turn that music down a little bit. One announcement in here today. I did finish a new episode. A whole new video. Let me show you what it's on. Let me show you what we did an episode on. This. Right? This device may look like nothing, but it's something special. Okay? So I have a 5-minute video for you all coming tomorrow. It's already ready. It's been produced. It's just gonna come out tomorrow. Take a quick look at that. And this little device here is called the Reflex. And the Reflex RF. It's from Mr. Add-ons. Let me see if I can find the product page here just to highlight it a little bit. Here we go. Yes. So Mr. Add-ons has this RF adapter. It's composite to RF, okay? Just to give you a little heads up, it's NTSC only, okay? So if you're in PAL land or some other land, CCAM land, you probably are going to not want to worry about trying to use this thing. But otherwise, this is a device that will let you connect, obviously, RF out to, you know, one of your older TV sets that only has RF, like the ones pictured in this advertisement. Okay? And so you'll get my full review on it. It's a fun, short video. It's only 5 minutes. I lag tested it and showed that in the video. I'll also write up something for Retro RGB. Now, we'll note that the case in my episode, this is a prototype that was sent to me, I want to say back in late May, early June. Unfortunately, it was the same time when Brutus passed away, so I didn't have much time to think about it. I put it on the back burner, and now I finally spent the last 2 days to work on a 5-minute video for this device. So you can tell I worked hard, right? Anyway, 5-minute video on the Reflex, and it should be fun. And you know, I'll give you again my recommendations on this later tomorrow. Should be about 10 a.m. it'll be out. So that's the only real big news. Oh, I have one more thing. Those of you who are friends or know my friend, the 8-Bit Esquire, from his channel here on YouTube or Twitter, just going to note that I finished up a testimony for his latest trial. I had to give an entire testimony as an expert witness, so I'm not going to spoil it more than that, but I'm really excited to see this episode come out. It's going to be I think it's going to be a pretty amazing thing when it does drop. I'll share it on the channel. I'll share it everywhere else that I share things, and hopefully you'll enjoy it too. It should be fun. Hey, Ray Cerrone, thank you for coming in. So, again, guys, I hate to keep saying this, but if you don't mind, please, if you haven't already, hit the like button so that more people will know the show's going on. Usually takes 15 minutes for the crowd to really show up here whenever I go live. Of course, we have tried to go on a more consistent schedule here starting this week, but you know how things are. Anyway, thank you everybody for doing that. And if you're watching this on a playback, please do that also, because that helps that helps you get more notifications when this show is live. A little swig off my Hacko coffee cup. And we're going to, again, I hate to just sit here and kill time, but we are going to wait a little bit more, a couple minutes before I really get too deep into what we're going to be working on today, and that's this. Just to give you guys, first look. Here, we'll go all cams, since it looks like Cole's finally interested in that big biscuit. See him? So as we wait for our audience to come in today, we will talk a little bit about this. This was sent in from another Patreon member. He usually comes into the streams, but I don't think it doesn't look like he'll be able to make it here today. So it is, of course, weekday in the middle of the week, and or end of the week, Thursday, and we're halfway through that day. So we're all making it closer to that weekend so we can have a good time. But before then, we need to do a little work, and that is, of course, today's specialty. You saw it in the thumbnail. It's the Sony KV-8AD. And I tell you what, while we're waiting, Cole's sitting there enjoying his biscuit finally. While we're waiting for that all to go through, and we're going to take a look at some documentation. We're going to take a look at some documentation here for this CRT, okay? Hey, thank you, Javier. Hey, thank you, Seth, for coming in too. And let's just switch over here, right? We've been going for about 10 minutes. So let's get in this and start rolling on the actual data. We're going to take a look at a post that was done earlier this year from Andy King. And this is his website, the CRT database, great place for information on CRTs. And he has information on this specific set for us, the KV8 AD12. There's a picture of it. And we actually have a copy of the service manual here. And let's see. Oh, yeah, it looks like it comes with a mount to mount it. This version I have does not have the mount, but the mount is available to mount this under a cabinet or something like that. It's a pretty wild design. So there's that. We're going to go through today, test it out, open it up. This also looks to be a base, maybe. This one did not have it. This one looks like this, actually. The AD11. That's funny enough. But we'll go through. We'll open it up. We have the remote here. And yeah, meant for this kind of TV would be meant for like installing under a cabinet. And I'll show you, there is a graphic here on the side. AD11, right, okay. Yeah, so there's a couple models. The AD11 is not the mounted kind. We're going to do this here, okay? In a second, after we test it, we're going to do the disassembly. So we're going to need to take these screws out. I don't know how. I'm interested to see how to get this antenna out of here, because it seems to be kind of trapped in here. And I don't know if that's going to come off kind of with the set, because it seems pretty solid. Good morning, Abes. Hey, Snuffer Stuffer. Thank you for coming. And we're going to test all this, but we need to get that cover off. There's our mono speaker. We're going to look at these boards today, clean it up, test it out. And we got a memo page for us if we want to make some notes. Adjustments are available on this set. Let's see if there's anything down here we're really worried about. It doesn't. D-board adjustments. It looks like this set's going to have to be adjusted using potentiometers on this D-board. If we look over here, one of the things that is noted, do not stick anything metal inside the width coil, okay? So we don't want to do that. And then there's also a pretty easy looking S-Video mod. So there's that. It's all there. There we go. That's what we're going to do. We're going to open it up, check it out inside. But Andy King has done this. Yeah, hopefully we'll leave it on the shell. Hey, Mark. Good to see you today. Good evening. We got somebody from out of town. I'm saying you're in... Sir, you are in... Is it Schurter? I'm not sure how to say that. I'm sorry. Maybe somewhere in Europe. Thank you all for joining us today. He's here, don't worry, he's somewhere. There he is. Finally got his biscuit. But again, if you're just coming in, the thumbnail is correct. We're working on the KV8 AD12. And let's take a quick view of this CRT here. From this lovely angled down point of view, this is the television. Very nice looking. I like it. Has a dark tube on there. Classic Sony look for that, you know, early 90s time period. Give you an idea what it looks like on the bottom. Nothing epic down there. Some vent holes. And then over here we do have some adjustments. And an earphone, ear jack, stereo head jack, or mono. I'm not sure. Because this is a mono speaker right here. And then, besides what you've already seen, the back, right? Everybody loves the back. This is a client's, right? Someone sent this in. Here we go. Here's a back. Here's a look at the... Where am I going? Here's a look at the back label. But the more important stuff is down there. You have an antenna in. This AC in, which I know it looks like it's not proprietary, but Sony did do something proprietary a little bit on this plug. Because if you try to use different ones, they don't want to work. We've also got an option to send in DC voltage, which needs to be, what does it say, 12 or 24 volts. You actually got a range there. And then video in, audio in, and out there. You got an in and out on the I/O board, and then RF. So what we're going to do is, before we jump into the actual tearing this thing apart, we're going to test it. And we're going to use composite video to test it. So, got a composite video set of cables here. I'm going to go to connect those to the video in. And I've got this just Y adapter set up so I can send in audio just to test it. I'm going to plug in the proprietary plug for power on AC, and you notice just how this looks a little different. It doesn't have the notch, and I don't know what it is. Sony did this with also the Watchman or Watch Cube Watchman that I have. So it's kind of proprietary. Other ones don't want to work with it. So there we go. We got some power. I'm going to use a set with a wonderful composite video signal, and that's a PC engine. Core graphics here, especially if you bypass all the video circuitry. And go straight. Straight into there like that. So we're going to use this. It does have the old school EverDrive in there. Wow. This is an old setup. We'll go ahead and give that some power. We got some power there. As that power's on, let's go. Let's try out the remote here. Let's see how this works. Oh, I see. I hear it. Oh, I hear some fuzz sounds coming out of that mono speaker right there. Let me turn that down. Hopefully, all right, there we go. We do have some pictures. So that's our channel 3 RF. We got a video. Oh, crispy. Crispy. This is a nice signal. Let me see if I can find something to prop this up a little bit so you can see it better. Oh, wonder if it's, let me see if I can just pull up a game pretty quickly too. All right. I can, hey, Delusional! Dell! Man, good to hear from you. Tried to send you some messages on Twitter after the show there. Haven't seen you in a while. Thank you. I tried to say goodbye at the show, and I couldn't find you Sunday when I had to leave. Dad joke book, that's right. Let's prop it up with the dad joke book. Now, the image is extremely bright. Now, there's some adjustment wheels. I'm going to try to turn that down a bit. Let's turn that brightness down. That's better. Oh, yeah. Look at that. Picture controls also. We'll turn that. And so that's actually fine. It's more like the brightness was the problem. Dad jokes. All right, yeah, maybe we can get through this and get some dad jokes told. All right, so you can see there, it works really good. This, I don't know, this thing just puts out a fantastic, like, composite image there. I'll let that roll for a second. It's a nice little set. As the picture scrolls there. There we go. Let's see. Yeah, see, it's still doing the moire pattern. Even though it matches up that frame rate, it still doesn't care. All right. Awesome. So there you go. It's working good. It's working good. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this back off here in a second after, well, after nothing. Let's just do it. Gonna first disconnect everything. Hey, Cole, you okay down here? Yeah. Yeah, it's all right, buddy. Good boy. Just wanted to show you that it worked. The remote is interesting. It's nice, thick boy. Short, fat. Same color as the television itself. And it is very easy to, you know, move around, right? You just move it on out of here. There we go. Now, I'm going to try to finish up my Hacko coffee here so I can get it out of the way. We're going to do this thing here. We're gonna remove this shell. Look at this. It says 350 cringeworthy puns and one-liners. Oh, these are bad. Oh my goodness. Did you hear about the narcissist astronomer? She thought she was the center of the universe. Oh man. Did you hear about the Olympic swimmer in the hospital? She had a stroke of bad luck. Oh, these like... Oh man. So why can't humans hear a dog whistle? Because dogs can't whistle. Oh my goodness. I can't... Hey, why couldn't the lifeguard save the hippie? He was too far out. Oh, see, like, some of these I don't even get. Alright, well, we might come back to this. One last one. Why don't vampires visit casinos? The stakes are too high. Alright, there you go. Maybe we'll add that as a segment to the show. Bad dad jokes. Diddy-doo. Welcome in, folks. This is live TV, right? Variety Hour. Variety baby. Let's get this thing open. Move my dad jokes book. I put it right on top of my screwdriver. Oh. This was a gift that I love. Extra long screwdriver here. Don't know that I can use it this time, but I love using this thing. Look at that 2-footer. Now that's a screwdriver. Now that's a screwdriver. There's nothing really epic going on at this second, because I'm just taking the screws off. So you're not missing anything from the other viewpoint. See, just 2 screws coming out. Yeah, you guys feel free to put in your own dad jokes today down in the chat, your favorite ones. Maybe they'll get told on the next episode. Looks like we may just need to take out the 2 screws. Maybe there's one under the handle somewhere. 2 under the handle. It's 2 under here. Just gotta get under this point. Good thing about this long screwdriver is you can use it and just sit back and comfortably do your thing. And not lose these ones, so. Hi. Hello, Mo. Mo the faux Q. Just another lovely day. Temperature starts to heat up in the bunker. Welcome to the bunker. If you're just joining me, please do like all the cool kids did early on and hit the like button for me. It does help. It does help small time shows like me get the word out. I already told everybody earlier. Looks like you get about 10 views every time. 10 new views every time like button gets hit. So if you're able to do that, I appreciate it. I can't even imagine what the statistics are for shares. It probably is like 5 times that. Oh, hang on. What do we got over here? What do we got this guy? He looks like he found. Looks like he found a oh. Looks like he found the fish. Thing just kind of falls out there. Yeah, so that antenna, the antenna is just sitting in there. So for future reference, you don't have to worry about that antenna. Just make sure it's disconnected from the input board. Okay? And set that first off. Whoop. Look at that little thing. Just a flippy floppy right there. Okay, let's set him back in there. Yeah, I gotta tell you, man, Dell was awesome. He saved the day. If you go back and watch the show, or I talked about it a little bit. When we were, let's go back here, take a second. So when I was at the Retro World Expo, I had to work on a couple of Sony CRTs. One was a PVM and a BVM, and the BVM had just some awful cold solder joints on the neck board, like almost completely eaten up. And I, of course, did not bring a soldering iron, but I knew that if we could at least try that, if we could get it soldered back together, would that be the problem? Would that fix all the issues with this BVM? If that was the case, it would have been really great to get it done there. And then, so thankfully Dell had a secret soldering setup behind a couple arcade machines. I was able to get in there, fix the board, clean it up. And Dell, if you're still in here, I actually have been using these lovely things to clean my circuit boards now. I absolutely love them. They just came in. These have been great. So that was another tip Dell showed me. It's always great to meet people out there, fellow creators, and even just fellow hobbyists. So it was a lot of fun working with Dell. We got to do that. We got to look at some of his monitors and all good stuff. So let's see. Cole's down there just tearing that catfish up. And I'm ready to look a little bit closer in here at this setup. This is that handle. Very cool handle. I do not right now. I'm sorry. I don't have one handy for me. But if you look up like printer printer cleaner swabs, they'll show up. They come in like 1,000 packs and stuff, 100 to 1,000 packs or something like that. So that's cool. That goes up and down. A lot of vent holes in there. We'll show you on this side. It does talk somewhat about mounting this under a cabinet. Some cautionary warning there. So this particular model is in very nice shape, as you can probably see right off the bat. Maybe I can try to get you in here a little closer. Just want to bring you down here so you can get a better look. Awesome, thanks. Yeah, I'd love to go back and do something. Maybe next year, Dell, we can do like a CRT panel. You want to do some, if you want to do something like that, and you know those guys better than me. I just met Lance this year. But yeah, I would think that would be fun to do a CRT style panel, and I know that like you and I could do those together. That would be a lot of fun. Okay, top down view. I don't know that, I'm trying not to make it look too weird for you. Let's make sure, because again, I'm looking from this direction, and I can't actually, this camera is so great. It's not the highest quality, this overhead camera, but it does the job well. So we're gonna let's resize it a little bit, and then I'm going to flip it around. So just bear with me one more. Oh my gosh, a wasp just landed in here. Oh, get on out of here. Okay. Wow. Oof, gosh. Gross. Okay. There we go. We're going to roll you over. So you're going to have the same basically point of view I am from now on. And then if I have to go back and zoom this thing out, we will do that also. But let's just take a first kind of look in here. We do have some stuff up top written about our chassis. Our board here. This must be, let's look. So we got an A board over here. See if I can back it out a little bit more. Okay, there we go. Got an A board over here, which to me, it's quite evident that's the tuner board. And then over here is what I believe is the F board, and that is our power. That's got to be a power board right here. From what I can tell from the circuit boards diagram in there. So what we really need to do is get these boards out one at a time, inspect them, and then service them pretty much. So we're just going to start by working our way through this. I'm going to pull this, slide it out a little bit, release these clamps over here. And then we'll see how many of these cables we can just pull right off this board if we can get it by itself. Oh yeah. Oh, that's great. See, we've got some just simple connections here to disconnect those conductor wires right there. I'll get them out of the way. So this would be the first board. F board. Here we go. See? Sony F board. This is definitely a power board. We've got a fuse there. We've got a couple more fuses up here. So if there was a no discharging, no, you don't have to discharge to pull these boards. Not yet. We'll discharge in a little bit if we're going to pull that board. Got some bad oxidation back here. Check that out. I don't know how good that looks on the camera, but you can tell that dull oxidized metal there. So that's something that will get cleaned up. And what we can do is go through, because these are actually pretty nice capacitors in this. So what we're going to do is we're going to do some testing on these capacitors. And if the capacitors are doing really well on their health, then I'm not concerned about changing them. If they're high quality and they're still reading low on my ESR meter. Now I do have a couple of meters. I've been using this one the most. Everybody knows that. The GME. It's an easy one to deal with here. Hey, Grails Hobbies, thank you. So I'm going to put this in the viewpoint a little bit. I can. Let me maybe pull this up a little bit more. And that way you can see that. I'm sorry about this shadow right here. It's because there's an overhead light. And no matter really what I do, there's always going to be a shadow from that camera on itself. So the ones I'm really concerned about, if I'm honest, you see there's this one right here and this one right here next to these big resistors inside this shielded place where you've got these main transistors and a transformer under there, and you know, I'm sure that's where the voltage is really, you know, coming out of that, because the voltage will come in over on this side. And that's why the fuses are over here. And then it gets, you know, split around into the usable voltage needed. Good one, Brandon. The dad jokes are still rolling today. I'm enjoying that. I think that's going to be a new segment. I've got plenty of material. And my kids got me that the last Father's Day, so to thank them for that. Alright, we're going to test these capacitors with my meter. I'm going to turn that on. And what we're looking for here is the range on this meter. You should, and it's right in the shadow, but that kind of helps a little bit. We really, anything that pops up in a yellow or red, we should just change, because it's the point where these caps are 30 years old. So the first thing I'm looking at down here, well, first thing, let's go over here to the dashboard. I want to see if there's a parts list, because if there's a parts list, it's going to make it infinitely easier to test everything, right? Oh yeah, look what we got. You know you're a nerd when you get excited over parts lists. Capacitors. These are all our capacitors right in this list. Not a lot. It's like we have, oh, these have a lot of microfarads though, so they probably are going to need to have some changes. So I'm going to leave this up, but this is what I'm referring to. Okay. This is C504. And these bigger filter caps are usually low. Oh, we got a 2. What's 504? I'm not understanding, because that should be a 6. Is that 604? I can't hardly read those numbers. It is a 6. I'm sorry. 604 is a 200 volt, 180 microfarad. Yeah, I know. I need to zoom in on that, don't I? Dell. So, here's what I'm looking at, guys. This is my list, right? This capacitor is C604. It's 180 microfarad, 200 volt. It's the large filter capacitor on there. And anything according to my meter, 180 microfarads. Look, we go back. Yeah, that would put this right at this spot. Okay, so it's safe to be Right in between those two. So it's safe to be on a 0.2, which is what it was reading. Let me show you. Put the negative on there and the positive on there. It also discharges these on its own, you know. See how it's reading 0.2? There you go. So that one's fine. I'm not, like I said, there's no point in changing out something. My capacitors will read the exact same, and actually these are really nice 105 degree temperature capacitors. Now these ones next to it are more concerning to me. I'm having doubts that these are going to read super low. They're 1000 microfarads, so they don't have a lot of tolerance. These need to be reading at the very bottom, no questions asked, of this meter. So let's test those out. Look at that. Okay. It's called the GME meter. You can find it on eBay. Look at that. So the reason, see, every time it just hits low, low. All right, those are good, right? We just showed you. That means this TV set probably does not have a lot of hours on it. We're going to test this last one over here, 614. That one's a little higher. That one's reading a 0.4, but what's the value on there? 330. 330 is over here in between these two, so 0.4. That one absolutely needs to be changed. So this little guy right here will get a mark, because we're going to pull it in a second and exchange it for something else. If I have that value, gosh, that's a 330 microfarad capacitor. So that one's got to go, but the other three in this path are good. And again, the only other two we have are these two inside here, and I'm actually hoping they're going to read bad, but that's just me. Let's see what we've got left. We've got 609. What's that other one? 608 and 609. 608 is over here. Oh, let me make sure this is in the view. 608. And this isn't uncommon either. I'm not getting any reading. And I should be getting something on that. Let's try 609 and see what it does. It's definitely the right orientation. Boom, boom, zero. So I'm guessing both of these caps are bad. One didn't even give me a reading, and you just saw what that did. That maxed out. So those two, like I said before, should absolutely be changed. And that's half of them. The other three, I'm not changing. I'm not changing these good big filter caps. These three, these are all good. They just tested good. The CR2 is working good. And that's a waste of resources and time. I want to make sure every one of these boards is working awesome. Okay. So let's go ahead now. We've got our list of things. Now, normally I would print this list out, but I'll just take a piece of paper and we will write down the caps here that we're going to change on just this notepad for a second. So we're starting on board F. Ooh, Cole's getting fired up. He thinks he hears something. We're starting on board F. And we're going to change capacitors C608, C609, and C614. And I'm going to go real quickly and grab my... Oh, on which GDM 900 did you want to... You know, the only thing I haven't done on the GDM, that old one that I did from like a year ago, the only thing I haven't done on that is a tube test. So that'll come soon. I've got to do a live episode soon where I need to make my... Oh, Del, since you're here, do you know anywhere that I can get those replacement... If you're still here, Del, please, do you know anywhere I can get those replacement 467 BK caps, like the CR, what is it, 31 and 23? The testing ends. I'd really love to get 2 of those. Stoked for the Tink 4K. I'm sure a lot of people are. Heck yeah. Okay. So those are the 3 caps on here that we're changing. And let me see what the values are. We've got a 35 volt. Like I said, when I come over here, if I show you this, we're changing C608, which is 35 volt, 33 microfarad. And then we've got a 609 is a 16 volt, 100 microfarad. And then C614 is a 25 volt 30 or 330. 330? UF. Okay. So we need to find those 3 capacitors. Yeah, those adapters. That's really what I'm looking for. I've been trying to find the remakes. I've got my, generic one, but I'd love to have those 2 like you had. So if I go up here, I've got some capacitors just in my storage. And I'm going to go and see what I have up here. Remember, you can always increase... Here's our list. You can always increase voltage when you're doing a replacement. So, for example, we have a 35 volt 33. Well, I don't have that, but I do have this on hand, which is a... Let's see if the focus... I'm sorry. Even if the focus works, it's going to be hard for you to see. It's a 50 volt 33. There's one. See, we got it. I know I have a 25 volt 100. Spare here. That's what this one is. So we'll upgrade this to a 50. We'll upgrade this to a 25. Now I just need to see if I've got this 25 330, which is not the most common cap. Let's see. But I probably have... Oh yeah, I do. So I have one of those also. Right there. This is a 25 330. That will take care of all those on the cap list. Let me go get my tools. Oh, you're such a good boy. Cole's such a good boy. All right, here you go. You can see Cole's just finally relaxing with his fish. We're about to get started. Look at this camera view. It looks like I'm hitting my head on the camera. It's not a very good view right now. The overhead, or the face view. Okay, we're gonna let that get heated up. We're gonna let that get warmed up. Actually, I'll have to move this out of the way completely. Oops, sorry about that, folks. Set that back there on the shelf for right now. Definitely. Yeah, so if you hear a bunch of noises like that, guys, it's a desoldering tool, or it's a pug snoring. It's not me actually breaking wind. I have more class than that. No, I'm just kidding. I don't really have a lot more class than that. I love a good Good fart joke. Bad one's not so much, but just kidding. All right, where are we going here? We are taking out. We're taking you out. Let's see if we can get a better shot of this. So I like to sit my thumb. Sit your thumb just right under that. Under the capacitor you're getting ready to remove. Set it under there. I'm sorry about this. Set it right under there. And then we're going to come in here up top. I got my thumb bracing the top side of this capacitor. And then I'm just going to heat it up and wiggle that thumb. Oh, and look at that trace, man. This is on like the lowest heat setting too. The trace just almost disappeared. It's a problem with a lot of these boards too, can be traces. Wow, okay. See how that trace just lifted right there? It's definitely something we'll have to consider coming back. So you don't want to hold that on there very long. And with a board like this, you actually don't even want to be touching the trace. What you want to do is just touch the legs of the capacitor. Let's pull that, see how it looks. We're going to pull these 3 caps, and then we'll test them again with the meter before. We'll test them, we'll test the new ones. See if we get something good or not. So that one, like, I didn't even touch the darn pad. That can still happen. It's not gone. It's still there. Right there. So the idea with those things is, again, to just tap the end of the legs, and that probably would be better for me to do here with these other 2 overclockwise. Good point. Alright, so there's our first one. I'm gonna let the iron heat up here, and we'll just dab it with a little bit of fresh solder first. Whoops, sorry about that. Alright, because we're going to reflow solder on here anyway. The next one we're going after, that's probably the most compacted part. There's that 608. What was the other one? 614. 614, just up this port right here. Oh, that one stunk. Woo! Yeah, you can come back and do double speed and it probably will sound okay. Wow, this Cat 5 or 614 smells so bad. So bad when I hit it with that. Just a little bit of heat. Now if you see, what I'm going to try to do is I'm not trying to even do anything but just get it liquid by touching the actual leg of the capacitor there. I don't really... There we go. I don't really want to touch. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm off camera. Goodness gracious. So I'm not trying to touch the pads or traces or anything. I'm trying to get it liquid just by touching the leg of the capacitor. Gosh, that one stinks so bad. This one stinks so bad. Ugh. Oh, holy. Alright, I know this has got to be completely gross in you. Okay. I don't know if you can see. There we go. There's fluid right here. That in turn does leak down into these holes right in here. These holes. So when I was heating them up, it just smells like fish backside. We got one more to go. That's that small one down in here. Next to this resistor. Let me pull this out a little bit. And then maybe Maybe we'll get one of the 3 capacitor shots, pullouts, right? Like, so I feel like those first 2 were probably not very good as far as the work being on screen. That worked out good. So did that one. It's definitely time to clean that FR301. Goodness gracious, that thing's got some gunk in it. I can feel it. Alright, those are our 3 bad capacitors. Pads look good. Everything's fine in here. Go through and install the new ones after I kind of clean this board a little bit. Set that out of the way. We're going to come back and test these. Right? 2 of them we didn't get really a reading on. The other one, or well, actually no, we got a real bad reading on one of them. So that was like 609. So this one was 609. I think it was the one that read completely dead. Let's see. Oh my gosh, that dog. Right, see? That one read completely dead. It's right, it's all the way up there, 30 ohms, man, that's just fried. This is 100 microfarad capacitor. So that was the one that read bad. This is the one I could not get a reading on the board. It's the 33 microfarad capacitor. Let's see what it reads out at here, if we get a readings or nothing. But that's so dried out, we're not even getting a reading. Like, it's nothing. It might be completely fried, dried out completely. This was the one that was old stinky. 330. And it read like 0.4. Gosh, 0.3. Man, that's still out of circuit. It's reading lower. It could almost work, and it's so bad. It smells awful. Those three are bad. Now, wait. For retrospect, for perspective, let's test all these. These are just different brands that I have in my stock. This is the 100 microfarad. So even that one, look at that's new. It's still reading in that green, but it's on the high ends, which is like I'm saying, there's no point in changing them if they're reading lower than that. This is the 330, which was this is the 33, the one that was reading really high and like 30 on the scale. 0.2. Make sure those aren't touching. 0.2, perfect. Beautiful. All right. So, bad caps go in the bad cap tray. The new caps are going to be installed here in a second. And really, before I jump into that, though, I need to move things around just a touch and that. Here we go, one off. What we're going to do now is I don't have my blower down here, which kind of stinks, but we're gonna just brush off this board with some ESD brushes, shake it like a Polaroid picture, and get to work on restoring it. That should be fine. It's ESD brushes. Okay. I don't know how good you can see down in there, but there's definitely dust and build up. I mean, it's been 30 years. This thing, of course, it has some build up in there. Just getting down in this heat sink, trying to get some of that dust free from in there. You can tell the dust builds up on these relay switches, transformers, more relays, transformers, capacitors, everything in between. There we go. So you can still use your breath, right? Let's get in here and scrub these parts a little bit. There's some solder spots on here I want to touch up. And that trace, yeah, that trace is going to be toast. So we're going to go ahead. I'm not even going to attempt really to worry about this trace so much. It's actually just peeled right off, see? What I can do is I can run that capacitor. It's really easy on this big board, but that does happen sometimes. There's really nothing you can do about that. I just want to see, I can't tell whether that's all together in one circuit right there. I don't think it is. I think that's just some, yeah, debris. So yeah, see that trace is gone right there. So what we'll do is we'll run that leg of that capacitor. I'll put a heat shrink casing on it, and I'll run it over to like this point and solder it there. All quiet out there, everybody. It's a quiet day. So, thank you for joining me. First ones, let's go now and install. Let's get some alcohol. We'll rub that. So this was the spot where I had that bad smell. But I'll rub all three with the tip here of this. And some 91% alcohol. Make sure it's all cleaned up. Same thing under here. Spot with this. No more part there. That's so sad. And that's what happens after 30 years, fortunately. Because that is at the lowest temperature. I can't even turn, hey Negator and JS, I can't even turn the desoldering tool down lower than that. If you tried to use braid, I mean, maybe that would be okay, but I also feel like that would just rub it off. Alright. Get the brushes out of the way, and we're going to install these new capacitors. They're right here. And let's save that tough one for last. We'll start up here. 614, referring to the list. 614 is our 25330. So we're going to use this 25330. Oh, that's 50. Not the right one. There it is. 25330. We're going to install that. You got to go with the flow there. Make sure you install this the correct direction. It's opposite of the two capacitors above it this time. Usually those will all go the same orientation, but they don't always. So don't make a mistake. Just look at the board. If you need to, refer to the manual. Go in here. Didn't I promise everybody we would be soldering this week? Look, I'm delivering. I'm trying to do my best to deliver on the show. as promised. So, just remember tomorrow there will be a new episode out. So if you haven't, not a new live show, I mean just a new 5-minute video on that reflex adapter. There we go. Boy, that stinks still. Let's just have some of that burned in vapor. Now we can do 608, which is our, let's see, 608. Is that the one that's not messed up? I think that's the one that's not messed up. 609 is the one that's not messed up. So let's do 608, which is our one we're upgrading to this 50 volt 33. That should be it. But that's the wrong one. Goodness gracious, goofball. There's this machine gun dog farting. Just kidding. Snoring. Just so you can see it, right? There he is. He's out. He is out cold, baby. Out cold. That's my dog. Oops. Now the soldering iron I can take down to a lower temperature easily. And we'll do that. Come back down here. It's all good. All right. Now our last capacitor. See, 609 right here is a 25 volt 100. But I need to get some some tubing. Yeah, that's what I'm using. Mine is 650 Dell. Mine is set on 650, and I have just the FX951 Hacko station. I use it, again, if everybody's wondering, for this stuff, 650. I mean, this one you could probably go lower to 600. Now, drink tubing. Here we go. Need a small piece. Small gauge. Goodness, this is so small it's hard to get out of the container. And that's something we don't need in there. Well, we're not going to use this whole thing, obviously. We'll probably only use like that much of it. See, I'm going to try to make it go, I bet that one. I don't even need that much of it. Look at that. We'll probably just do like that. Like that. Okay. Put all that other stuff back. There's some tweezers. Those will work. And let me show you how this will all work out. Get our cap down in here. And let's just go ahead and do this stable joint. Now that all was glued together, welded together for the other side, the positive leg. So I'm going to heat that up. Get that tacked into place. And then I can come back and get rid of that leg right there. See, this is the leg now that I'm working on right here. Okay. So the idea here is going to be to get that to go like there. Right in line. You can see how it's going to go right there. And I'm going to weld it right here on this resistor point. So, it means I can pretty much bend the leg right there. And kind of, I don't even have to trim it yet. Next step will be to slip the piece of heat shrink tubing on it. I think that's still going to be just a tiny bit too big, so I'm going to trim about 1 millimeter off of it. Bend that back straight up and try to snake that over there. Yeah, there we go. The tube is just gonna immediately start to shrink like it's supposed to, like it's called, when we get that heat source on there. Go ahead and start heating that up. Okay. Take that. Whoops. I just fell. Just a brush. And that's all it. That's all we need to do right there. We're going to come back over here and reflow that in a little bit. Don't really need to worry about that. Any more solder on there, that's got plenty. It's a nice good bulb on the end of this. I'll roll that into that hot iron on that tube, and it'll get hard, and that's just like that. It's done. Just go back and check to make sure you did everything correctly. Positive is on the positive, negative is on the negative. Everything's good there, and there are a couple of spots on this board that actually could use some solder touching up. Probably just go through and do most all of it now, especially anything that's a important component here. Look at that old solder, baby. Bubbling crude. And that 90s era solder, baby. Look at that. So sweet. Fuses, not worried about that. We'll come in here. I like to methodically make my way through these components, just top to bottom. A lot of, like this stuff. This solder's just seen its better days, kind of like the capacitors. Some of this looks like it's already been retouched right there. You also have to worry about spots that there's nothing on or just like a test point. That's probably okay. You don't have to worry about reflow and solder on those points unless it's just terrible and you want to. You know you're going to run a test or something. That's a test point right there. Look at that. Kind of matches the sound effects of the dog snoring. When it comes to the connectors, you don't really want to put too much heat on them for very long. You could melt plastic by doing that. Which that's what this is a connector. And go ahead. We do these connector points too. The sounds, I've never heard like solder make these kind of bubbling sounds. It's like, yeah, just like that. Yeah, almost like that, Cole. Just like you. You're in a competition. In a competition for the loudest sound effects today. When you're doing this, make sure you don't do like the same component. You might liquefy the solder, molten solder, and then you hit both sides and it might just fall out, the whole part. This is just going to make sure, you know, doing this little solder reflow, I recommend it at this point, just because you don't want to have an issue with, you know, this is going to be really the only thing left to have an issue is solder joints, just about. I mean, obviously a resistor, diode, transistor could fail, even a transformer, but most problems are capacitor and solder related. Not all, you know, but a good portion of them. Like 60%, I bet. Gosh. So that was right next to that, so the inductor had definitely some fluid leaked out on it. That's a test point. I don't want to worry about those test points. Test points, fuses are fine. The last section is pretty much up here. Let's do this. This diode. This. This is a transformer that I'm reflowing right now. Almost there. I'm not going to worry about those pads under that protective piece of plastic there. There's not really, I'm not going to remove all that, you know, to get under there. Add solder in here, yeah. That's the spot that I was telling you about earlier. I want to remove some of that, but I don't want to use my soldering tool. I'm going to use this. Look at that. I'm going to use the braid. Get rid of some of that. That's good. All right. Probably driving a bunch of people nuts that I'm not using a fan right now. I'm just blowing this away. Steve, you bad boy. You very bad boy. You very bad boy. Oh, sorry, Cole. I wasn't talking to you. Go back to sleep. Go back to sleep, Coley Woley. Alright, this is our kind of last spots over here. That's all good. Get that. Get over here. Get these resistors and diode legs. That's an IC. I think, no. It says diode. That's everything. Oh, one more resistor over in this spot, I think. No, it wasn't even populated. Cool. Okay. Soldering. Soldering. Here we go. Everything looks good and shiny. Here's an alcohol. Here's some alcohol for all you out there. Ooh, almost tipped it over all over myself. That would have been fun. All right, folks. It's been a fun day. Let's continue on and get this thing cleaned up. Turn my soldering equipment off for a minute. Just dab that stuff right on in there, especially in this spot. Then we can work our way towards the edges. And we'll have to do this a couple times, you know. But it's much better than, I don't know, this is one of the best methods I've found to have to clean this stuff, is these. So I bought a bunch of them. A bunch. And even the spots I didn't touch up. You know, Sony was never known for cleaning their boards all the way. You generally have a film of solder from the manufacturing facility, or not solder, you know, no clean flux. I guess they call it no clean. You don't have to clean it, or you just don't clean it. Like, no, it's just no clean flux because we're not cleaning it. Of course, you know, it's not conductive, so technically it doesn't matter, but definitely doesn't look pretty. Oh yeah, sorry, Dell. They do block links, I think, in the chats. I'm not sure. Maybe I can add you. I'll see. I'm not actually. I need to go in. Hang on. All right. I made you a moderator, Dell. Maybe that'll Maybe that will help. Maybe that'll help. Maybe you can add a link now. I don't know. I added you as a moderator. You can try it. Because these swabs are just the best. Definitely better than the ones you use to like clean your ears with. But they were pretty easy to find. I think you told me to look up like printer swabs. Pretty easy to find. Oh, we just need a little patience. That's really what this hobby and work is all about, being patient. It's okay, it happens. At least I haven't like muted my microphone like I did the first show and talked for 5 minutes. Things like that. At least we haven't done that. That's the fun of having a live show, though. You know, sometimes you realize, oh my goodness, where am I? I'm way back in the feed. I try to keep the live, though. Like, you're pretty close to right on live. Like, there's as low of a delay between what I'm doing and you're seeing. It's as real time as I can make it. I've got all that set to go as quick as possible. It's starting to look better. 4 swabs later. I'm gonna take my brush here and probably just brush the back of this thing a little bit. knock a lot of that loose still. Ooh, that looks good, doesn't it? Look how shiny that is. That's better than Sony made it look coming out of the factory. Beautiful. That's right. It's looking good. Alright. It looks pretty much ready to go, doesn't it? Let this dry out a little bit more. You know, if you want to be like super safe, careful, we can always come in here, turn that light down. Nope, we're just right on top of the light. And I got some kind of filter or something maybe going on, I'm not sure. Definitely looks like the color's a little bit stronger pronounced on the camera today. Come in here, put this on. I want to make sure that our joints are where they're supposed to be and that they don't also cross. There's one we did. There's the other one we did. That's two. The third one was up here. That one's good, I'm sure of it. That's all good. Okay. And that's all good. There it is, look at that. You've been granted access, delusional Dell. That's fine too, little pig. The only thing about that is you just got to be careful sometimes and not make sure you don't do it too rough and knock something off the board, some SMD component. Oh wow, that's cool, Grail. We found that transformer you were looking for. That's a hard thing to find unless you just basically take it directly from another monitor. Oh, Little Pig too, the Discord stuff, all that. Look, if you guys want to be in the Discord, that's fine, but that's a private Discord too, so you do have to be a member of the Patreon to get access to it, but it's only $1 a month. You can't go wrong there. There's all kinds of people in there that help you out, but also just know that it's not something that is just, I keep a paywall up there, so it just keeps out, you know, anybody who doesn't really want to. Keeps trouble out, keeps things good in there. And that's been a great thing, that Discord server. Alright. I mean, everything looks good on this board to me. You know, I'd consider this board to be done. Where's my television? Where's that television, baby? It's a pretty nice layout here. Just undo some of this stuff. Yeah, plus there's a bunch of exclusive things that go on there in the Patreon stuff that, you know, it's something that it's a benefit to people. People in there really do help, and it's actually a beneficial place. There's also like sales listings. People sell things within the community there. There's always nice monitors for sale that they aren't sold by me. They're sold by other people like you. And if you know, when people have monitors to sell, they can take their monitor listings to that Discord chat. And honestly, where else are you going to have people that are actually looking to buy this stuff concentrated in one place? Just want to make sure everything's secured in the right spots. I'm gonna get rid of some of these things. Cable. This was holding my flyback. Alright, so that's what we've done. We've installed that board there. So, get my screws. That's just one board. There's 1, 2, looks like 3 more boards that I'll do that same process with. Not today on this stream, but ultimately I'm going to do the same thing with all those. Dell, what I really need are those links to the, thank you. What, 27 likes. We got to get more likes than that, everybody, if you want this to, on the playback, hopefully. The normal show will get like 80 likes, so not during the live portion of it, but after a day. Generally, we'll hit about 50 or 60 likes. Looks like we've had kind of a slow roll in today's show, so it's okay. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. We're on the show. I mean, I'm on the internet a lot, so people who want to see me definitely don't miss an opportunity to, you know? I'm probably on here too much. Alright. We've got everything good right here. Like I said, the Discord link, you have to be in Patreon to get it. So you gotta follow the Patreon link and then join to get in Discord. And then when you get in there, if you are in Patreon, you did that, you can go to the pinned post on the RetroTech Patreon page, and it will have an invite link in there for people who join Patreon. Right there. Or you can send me a DM if you can't find it in Patreon, and I can send you a link to that. All right. Let's see. Let's see what happens. Hopefully it doesn't explode on me. Let's see what happens, folks. All right. We will plug that up. I'll plug in the console again, and look at this. This dog is out cold. Out cold. Oh, I heard it. I heard energy going into it, so it sounds like it's the same as it did before. So, put everything else in there. Put that machine on. Plug in my controller. Let's see what happens, folks. This is all live, baby. This is why you want to be here, to see if I succeed or fail live. There's no tricks, there's no video editing. This is all real. Look at that. What do you think, guys? Do no harm, right? The essential goal of retro tech. So that's good. Let this run for a second. I like the way that looks from that camera angle, kind of. Maybe I'd... There we go. It's there. Just... Hey, everybody knows that I'm no good at... Man, I'm not good at, like, movie magic. I am not good at, I'm not great at video editing. That's not my strong suit. At least for the special effects stuff. Person who's, like, the best at that is, like, Joe from GameSack. Or, like, Tito. Macho Nacho. Those guys are just unbelievable editors. And, My Life in Gaming. I am in the United States of America right now, in the state of Virginia, on the East Coast, same time frame as New York City. Imtiaz. All right, guys. Well, that's the F board, fully serviced, looking good. Turn that volume back down. That angle seems to be working out on that television camera, which I'm kind of surprised by. Let's see what else is going on. That's pretty much it. Yeah, Tito's really talented. All right. So, guys, that's... Man, we had an extra long show. That's the way Thursdays are probably going to turn out. Thanks from Australia. Yeah, awesome. That's probably the way everything's going to finish out for today's show, guys. I'm going to work on this throughout the weekend. It won't be done by next week. But what I'd like to do is go through and do all the other stuff. And then maybe next week, I might even do it Monday. We might have to try the S-Video mod on here. If I get all the parts. If not, we'll order the parts and delay that to a next live show. Because just before I get out of here, let's go to the dashboard and take a quick look at what I'm trying to explain. Go over to this, and there you can upgrade this chassis with S-Video. Simply connect Luma to the input pin for composite video, connect your ground to composite ground, and then chroma to the spot shown in the image below. So all you have to do is run the S-Video cable to the... Super simple, right? There's composite video, composite ground, and then there's a spot over here for Luma, or chroma, sorry. See, Luma, ground, chroma, and then go put that into the S-Video jack, and you'll add S-Video, and that's actually using what? Which hole? Interesting. That's a hole on the back of the that's been added on the back of the case. Look at that. Oh my goodness, look how sexy that looks. Holy crap. Wow. Yeah. Definitely got to do that. So that shouldn't take long. That should be good for like a 1-hour show doing that modification. But as for like this one, it's working good right now. I'm going to go through and again, do that same process we did on that F power supply. I'm going to do that on the neck board, the tuner board, and the main board for deflection. And clean it up a little. And then I'll come back and we'll install that S-Video mod and test it and make sure it's working. So that's it, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you came in late to the show, you can always go back and rewind and watch from the beginning where we started with the TV and talked about it. I had a good time working on this TV, and I look forward to finishing up this job and keeping you guys up to date with it. And if you have any comments or questions, you can leave them in the chat below. I can't say thank you enough to everybody who's come into the video, and even if you just hit like on it, it really does help. And also, if you need more help, or if you're interested in getting in on more of the behind the scenes stuff, as well as additional things like what we've been talking about, like the Discord server, sales posts, I do tons of those. We also have a bunch of parts lists and like capacitor kits. That's all available on the private Discord, and that's available to anybody who contributes just $1 a month. And all your contributions are highly appreciated, everybody. I thank you so much. Have a great weekend. And also, don't forget that I will have that short video about the reflex adapter. The reflex adapter coming tomorrow. Thank you again, everybody. Have a wonderful weekend. And I will see you all live next Monday. Bye-bye.